All right, happy Labor Day weekend. I hope you're having a good weekend. Hope you have time to rest up, but also study up, okay? That's what you should be doing on weekends at night. I know people just think that this is about hot stock picks. It's not. If you look at all of my now roughly 50 millionaire students, their win rate is 50, 60, 70% of the time. Some are even around 40 or 45% of the time, but their wins are bigger than their losses. So this is not just about stock picking. This is about discipline, preparation, and execution. So the more you study, the more you think about this game when the market's closed, the better you will execute when the market is open. Leave a comment if you're even watching this on the weekend, if you promise to make September the best month of your freaking life. That's what I want from each of you. Every single one of you should leave a comment. I always try to get you guys to retweet and, promise me that you're doing this and studying because I want more millionaire students. Some people are like, come on, Tim, it's a holiday weekend layoff. No, okay? This is the time when you can really get ahead. That's why I'm dedicating myself right now to this video lesson. I have a million things to do, but I want to get this out so that you can learn. Heading into September, the NASDAQ is something that I'm watching. We've had a massive run up. Perspective is key too, okay? So we've come very far, very fast from April all the way up to now, and now we're kind of like flatlining. August was choppy. Most Augusts are very choppy. But even with crypto, we broke out to new highs, and now we're fading. And frankly, the breakout was a little weak. I'm sorry, crypto lovers. Former breakouts were much more. I know everyone's like, Bitcoin 1 million, Bitcoin 3 million. Okay, break 130,000 convincingly. Break 120,000 convincingly. Let's also not forget, some people don't realize this, because the dollar has dropped so much, Bitcoin actually has to get to 130,000 on the euro, okay, to make new highs. $130,000 is like a new high for the euro just because the dollar has dropped. So we're barely making new highs. This is IBIT. This is basically like a Bitcoin ETF. And you can just see, again, we've come very far, very fast from April. And now, crypto has been kind of flatlining for the past month. So the reason why I bring this up, 3 out of 4 stocks follow the market. So if Bitcoin's going to drop, if the NASDAQ's going to drop, you have to be very careful. And September is historically the worst month of any month for crashes, meaning that there's the most number of crashes historically in September and October. So given how far we've come, given how I think, valuations are stretched, it really wouldn't surprise me if we have a crash or a mini crash in September, October, 10, 15, 20%. So think about that in the back of your mind. That said, there's still plays galore. I mean, just literally on Friday, IPDN finished down like 40% off of its highs, and it was still up 200% on the day. Okay, so this is the kind of runner that I'm looking for. Also, last week we had INHD. Actually, this is a 2-time supernova now, from the 1s to the 6s, back to the 2s, back to the 6s, now into the 5s. And OPAD, again, another 2-time supernova in a few days. From the 1s to the 5s, back down to the 3s, back to the 6s. Now here we are in the 4s. I'll go over each of these in more detail, but I just want you to understand that even if the market is choppy, flatlining, crashing, you got to focus on these big runners. They have the most shorts, okay? If you follow me on Twitter, I'm always trying to thank shorts for their sacrifice. I'm always trying to rub it in. These companies don't deserve to go higher, okay? The shorts aren't wrong fundamentally, but the shorts are the ones who are driving these supernovas, which I'll get into specifically in this video in a little bit. But first, just want to give you guys some perspective. I barely made any money in August. So I am not like, oh my God, I'm so happy with myself. I am very displeased with my own trading. Early, in the month, I had this really stupid trade, my new dumbest trade of 2025. That really set me back. It took all my momentum out. I sized down. I got much more conservative. I'm literally trading from the gym in between sets because I wanted to hit a milestone. I wanted to hit 100,000 on the year. And I was trying to make like $70 on this trade, and I ended up losing like 9,000. Terrible, terrible risk reward. I'll link this video. You should all watch it because all it takes is one dumb trade or 2 dumb trades, and it wipes out so much momentum, your psychology. It really holds you back. There's always going to be new opportunities, but you have to be in the proper mindset. You have to, be ready to capitalize. If you're coming off a big loss, I don't encourage you to be more aggressive to try to make it back. I've just been in defense mode ever since this. And this was, 2+ weeks ago. So I've been in defense mode. Also, it's a choppy market. But you really got to watch out for stupid, undisciplined trades like this. It doesn't even matter that I was wrong. It was the way that I did it, trading from the gym, not seeing the news. This isn't my first rodeo. I've been trading for 25 years. I should know better. So I got to hold myself accountable. At least you can learn from my mistake. But aside from my really undisciplined trading, students are crushing it. And I'm really proud of so many of you guys who are really getting it. Jack Kellogg made over $100,000 on the month, and I know he's going to be not happy with that. I think that's probably his worst month of the year so far. He's over $5 million. I'm going to do a challenge webinar with him next week. I'm going to be catching up with him, so get excited for that. Also, Stratty, Inner Circle leader, closing in on $1 million. It's been like this major mindset milestone, I think, for him too. It's not like there's no plays. It's just, he zigs when he should zag when he should zigs. And we'll go over that too. I think he'll be joining us on the challenge webinar next week too. But again, don't cry for him. Like over a month, he still made 20,000. Over 3 months, he still made 60,000. Like he's doing great. He just wants more. And I think that's what everybody wants. Before I get into individual trades, I got to also give shout out to, where was it? Hertz, in challenge chat. He said, made 4,600 on the week, second best week all time. He blew away his best all time trading month for the first time, hitting 15K. My previous best month was a little over 10K. Awesome on taking the weekend to relax and recharge. And I gave him crap. I was like, Hertz, you got to get a better attitude. He was too hard on himself when he made like 1,000 on a day. Again, he sees more opportunity. Every one of you, if you're in this game, if you see these supernovas, you should see the opportunity. But it's all about execution. So I appreciate Hertz always wanting to do better and challenging himself. But at the same time, I said he had the bad attitude because I was like, you should be ecstatic making 1,000 a day. He only sees his execution and his discipline. And if he makes 1,000 on a day, he should have made 2,000. But if you can be positive, 500, 1,000, 2,000, whatever the case may be, or if you're trading with a small account, even positive 100, and you get the lessons, that's win-win, okay? Jack Kellogg, fantastic trading, over 20 million now, but his first 18 months, he was down $10,000, plus more money that he paid for the challenge. So nearly $20,000 his first 18 months. It's not like he's born a great trader. It's not like anybody's born a great trader. You have to learn from your early wins and early losses. And Hertz, I'm not surprised that he's doing well. Really dedicated student, and he's crushing, his best week, his best month. But you got to take some pride in that. You can always push for more, but you can't expect perfection, especially in this choppy market, especially given what's going on with the NASDAQ and Bitcoin in the background. So just be careful, take what you can, but realize it's a choppy market and always, try to push more. Also, I got to give another shout out to another great challenge student, Don Juan, finishing the month 40,000. And he didn't even take any trades on Friday or when he posted it late Friday. He said the second best win of his career and his worst loss to date on BMNR. So he still had a freaking awesome month, and he had the biggest loss of his career. So this is the thing. You got to contain the losses above all else. Whether you have a record month, whether you have a break-even month, whether you have a down month. I saw a few people, Ellis, I think he lost like 2,000 on the month. There was Jake in here somewhere too. I saw like he lost like 2,000. Oh, here's Jake. He lost 2,000. Complete chop fest. Tried letting plays play out versus big wins versus locking in. It's all about just adapting. But whether you're down a little, break even, or up a little, that's all part of the game, educating yourself. We can always get money. There's always going to be trades, but we can't get back time. So I want you to try to really think about September. How can you maximize this month? Not necessarily just in terms of like when I say best month ever, obviously profits are nice, but more important than profits are the lessons. I would rather you lose $1,000 on the month and be disciplined and learn a lot of lessons from that small loss. Even if it's a small red month, then let's say if you're just a gunslinger or a gambler and you make 5,000 on the month and you learn the wrong lessons, okay? Gamblers and gunslingers go broke in the long run, or they, lose most of their money in the long run. So sometimes small losses are better than big gains if you're doing it the right way. And I know that's confusing. A lot of newbies are just like, I want profits, I don't want losses. But it's the lessons, guys. If you are going to become my next millionaire student, you got to learn the lessons. I'm also in Norway too. So my lesson is that I myself am a little undisciplined lately, but I myself have to step back a little bit, have perspective. We have more millionaires than ever. I've been really pushing hard this year, just with videos, with new tools for you guys, more and more webinars, more and more mentors. Like, the business is just crazy right now. So I've been taking it a little easy here in Norway, and I got to be, proud of everything that I've done, even though I want to do better too. This was my office the other day. Let me show you this.
Short squeezes this week, but I just have to show you this. Look at where I'm freaking trading from, guys. We're seeing these great short squeezes.
So literally, this is like my front porch. And wait till you see. So my friends were up on the top of the hill hiking, and I stayed back for INHD that day because I was like, I can't focus on hiking. I do like to trade from anywhere, but as you'll see later in this video, sometimes you really got to just buckle down with these short squeezes. So I nailed INHD because I didn't go hiking, but let me show you the hiking views.
And I'm here in Norway. Lance and Queen are up there.
Look at this. This is Quinn, my friend Quinn, running on top of the mountain. And this would have been me with a laptop had I gone up there instead of trading INHD. But look at this.
On the top of the mountain.
And there's Lance. Lance, awesome guy, just crossed 100 million in trading profits. And he's just incredible. And he hiked up there too. So literally, this is our house. Our house is like straight down from that awesome view. I don't know if you can see me. I was out on the porch. I was like texting Quinn. I was like, yo, take video of me down at the house. See that little black spot right there? That's me in my Kermigawa sweater. I don't know what I'm saying. I was on my Kermigawa sweater on the porch here just when Quinn was taking a video from the top of the mountain. So I stayed back to trade, and I don't regret that. Sometimes you have to judge, right? Like, obviously, it's summertime. The weather's nicer. Some of us are traveling. But at the same time, like, a lot of these squeezes, you really have to focus, and like seconds or minutes matter. Like, if you go away from your computer for 30 minutes, like, everything changes, as you'll see with IPDN. But anyways, I'm trading and traveling. I'm trying the best that I can, but I think I have the right perspective. Got to give shout out to Terry. He is our first $100,000 testimonial from the Inner Circle. Inner Circle is like the challenge on steroids, where we're doing also quarterly meetups and multiple Zooms per week. It's just like to the next level. Stratty has taken it to the stratosphere, as I say. And he had a $20,000 week last week, and he's trying different strategies. Supernovas, taking singles with me, the number 5 pattern, the dip buy pattern for my 7-step framework that Stratty loves. After hours squeezes, which is Omer, another millionaire challenge student, and now he's helping mentor Inner Circle students too. And then overnight swings from Jack Kellogg. So literally 20,000 on the week for Terry. He's also helping other students, which is cool, but he's using 4 specific patterns. My Supernovas singles, dip buys from Stratty, after hours squeezes from Omer, and swing trades from Jack. And this is why I'm so proud of our community. We have so many different strategies that you can learn from. And it's pretty just awesome that you can take a little something from everybody. And Terry, I have no doubt that he's going to be a millionaire if he stays dedicated and keeps it up. But, try different strategies, see what works best for you. For me, I really like these Supernovas, and, we'll get into IPDN, this squeeze on Friday. Props to so many of you. I mean, I just highlight a few of you guys. I can't even keep up. These are just some students in the chat room taking singles on IPDN along the way. I love this one from BTEX. He says, newbie here, studying the past 2 months. I was focused on IPDN, bought 2,000 shares at 348. So he's just putting in $7,000, selling it at $595 and $630. Then he caught the bounce on the second run from 6 to the 9s with smaller position, which is great. When these stocks keep going higher, you got to get more conservative, not more aggressive. And I'll show you how I screwed that up on Friday. But he made $8,000 on the day. And, he's not using that much. Like literally he's putting in $7,000 on his first trade and then $6,500 on his second trade. So he's putting in $13,500 and making $8,000 on the day. Again, BTEX has been studying. You don't put this money in. You don't have this kind of aggression if you're not studying. But once you study enough video lessons, DVDs, webinars, you start knowing these patterns, you start seeing them in real time. By all means, be more aggressive. Okay? You have to choose how dedicated you'll be and how aggressive or conservative you'll be. You see Rumteen bought IPDN late from the 6s to the 9s areas. Toasts made like $1 a share. Bama Bow made 1,400 on the week, and you could just go through a lot of these. But it's all about taking advantage of whatever patterns you can. And IPDN was a big runner. I mean, I tweeted this little play in the pre-market. This was just after the market opened, and it was in the 3s, and it was already up nicely. They had a press release. IPDN. Let me get into IPDN. Okay, enough about the students. Congrats to all you guys. There's so many more. I can't congratulate all of you. This would be like a 5-hour video. IPDN is a piece of crap company. Okay, so I want you to understand, why does IPDN spike? Well, OPAD is a piece of crap company. INHD is a piece of crap company. You have these short sellers that recognize these are piece of crap companies, and they just short because the majority of these plays fade. So if the short sellers are just shorting and gradually they fade, most of them fade, short sellers clean up. It's not just my students having record months, it's short sellers too. I'm not saying short sellers are all losing money, but they do go down big and sometimes risk blowing up before they make it back with the usual fades. And you can just never be sure which ones are going to fade and how much they're going to fade. So INHD, the other day went from the 1s to the 6s. It came back down to the 3s. This is a 50% drop, okay? But it also went up, 6 times. So whether you like going long, whether you like going short, I'm not personally shorting. I don't recommend shorting for newbies because you just don't know. You don't know if this thing is going to stop at 6. You don't know if it's going to go to 10 or 20. There's too many shorts, and when you have these laughable spikes, they can get more laughable. They can get, ridiculous. They can get ludicrous, whatever adjective you want to say. And the spikes happen very quick. So you see here on INHD, this is just a few minutes, just after 4 a.m., 370 up to 507. This is just a few minutes. Comes back down, another squeeze here from 430 up to 560, comes back down. So again, when shorts see this, they're shorting every single spike because again, it spikes, comes down, spikes, comes down, spikes, comes down, spikes, comes down. And so they're not wrong. Like eventually these things do come back down, okay? But this is INHD. OPAD did the same kind of thing where it spikes up, comes down, spikes, comes down. The shorts are not wrong fundamentally, but they keep going. So this brings me to IPDN. You have 2 great short squeezes in OPAD and INHD as your guide. IPDN, in case you don't remember, I traded this a few months ago or a few weeks ago. Where was it? Was it here? Yeah, I think it was here. And it spiked up pre-market and near the open, and then it died. It literally died. There was no comeback whatsoever. All the dip buys didn't work, and it just faded. So if you shorted into this run-up from the 1s to the 5s, it came all the way back down, literally 50% in a day. So you see short seller after short seller. If you look at like their trades, I'm not going to highlight them because I don't really want them to know that I'm tracking them just like I used to track the promoters. Short sellers, I say, are the new promoters. But if you look at a lot of the biggest short sellers, they're having green months. Some of them are having record months, but they're risking too much and they're learning the wrong lessons. This is why I'm very proud to teach you guys this stuff, because this stuff is weird. This is nuanced. It's counterintuitive. IPDN taught all the short sellers the wrong lesson here, that IPDN was just any spike you could short aggressively and it's going to fade. Because of this day, all the way back here, there were short sellers who remembered that they had profits here. Just like I gave an example about Greg Maddox, the professor, the baseball player in the challenge chat a few weeks ago. Same kind of thing. This was a good profit for short sellers, but because of how good of an opportunity it was, that opened the door to this being a fake out. And that opened the door to Friday's big short squeeze. Mind you, this is a holiday weekend. If you remember from my old DVDs and video lessons, if you watch holiday weekends, holiday, shortened weeks, you can get bigger squeezes because shorts don't want to be short over the weekend. There's extra fees, there's extra risk, there's extra stress. So it creates these amazing squeezes going into the weekend. And I got a little unlucky on IPDN because, on INHD, okay, I'm here in Norway, but I could stay back at home, in trade INHD, and I nailed it. IPDN, no such luck. I was on the road Friday, and I tried to check in. Those of you in the chat room know that I was like, oh, look, I have some Wi-Fi. That's good. But I was watching it, and I was rooting for it to squeeze, but I literally had Wi-Fi from pretty much around 11 a.m. until like noon. And for this hour, it looked kind of sideways, and it looked kind of choppy. And I can't even make this up. I think I got back on the road, I think right around here at noon. And from like 12:08 up to 12:34. I mean, this is not even 30 minutes. This is literally, let's see, let me get the exact minutes so that you can see how fast this stuff is. This was 12:07 was this little green candle breakout. And really, if you want to talk about a true breakout with volume, it's 12:10. Okay, you're going sideways, it's fading, shorts are just like adding in, looking for the big fade. And you get a beautiful squeeze right here from like, let me zoom in even more, from 12:10 to like 12:12. So when it goes from 6:30 to 7, okay, it's only $1 a share, 6:30 to 7:30. But this is a nice breakout, and that means that all of this, as the shorts were thinking this was fading, it's actually consolidation. And when it goes up like this, not to mention when it breaks a new high here at 12:16, right? Like, you got to think about, how do shorts cut their losses? They cut their losses at the day high. So it's teasing that this is consolidation. It's not just going to fade like short sellers think here from like 12:10 to like 12:12, right? But the big breakout is right here at 12:16. And then even here, 12:17, 12:18, 12:19, 12:20, 12:21. It doesn't look like it's breaking out. Like, literally, it breaks out here at 12:16 p.m. This is what I'm saying, like how you have to focus like minute by minute. It breaks out here to new day high here at 12:16, but for 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes, it fails. Even here at 12:20, look at this candle. Like, the shorts are trying to just, crush it. They're trying to stop it. If you remember Lord of the Rings, when the orcs are trying to break into the castle, and they sacrifice that one strong orc who like blows the door wide open. But before that orc blows the castle wide open, the humans are holding the orcs back. This is right here, right? Like the humans, in this case, the short sellers, and the longs are the orcs. The humans are trying to hold this back from breaking out to a new high. 12:21, 12:20, it looks like they might have it. But then 12:22, they are screwed. They are absolutely screwed, because now it convincingly breaks this high that it's set here at like 790. Remember, the previous high was like 730. So it's new high after new high after new high. And right here is when it starts to get crazy. Like, you only have one red candle here at 12:24, but like, again, it's hypothetical. Had I been there, I don't know what I would have done, but I probably would have bought like 2,000 shares would be my guess. I wouldn't have been aggressive because this is like an $8 stock and I'm trading small. But you got to be long here on this breakout after breakout after breakout, heading into a holiday weekend on a Friday. Everything is lined up. And, this is all in a few minutes, but one green candle, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even though this is red, it's still higher. I'll count it. 7, 8, 9. 9 basically green candles in a row, okay? From 8, which is already a breakout, up to 10. $2 a share in 10 minutes. You have to take that. You have to be there. I know this stuff is choppy. I know this is scary. Maybe you're not like me and you don't buy 1,000 or 2,000 shares. Buy 100 shares. Buy 50 shares. Just try to ride these breakouts. Okay? I wish that, I had a better schedule on Friday. There's nothing I could do. It comes down, then it's choppy. Then, you don't even need 10 minutes here. Like, again, you have this kind of fake out fading that lures short sellers in. Right here at 1248, there's another press release. Sometimes they re-release the press releases just to hype up the stock. And you can see here, this one green candle breaks this whole consolidation. There was a whole consolidation going on from 1235 to 1247. And this kind of consolidation, as it turns out, looks like it's fading. If I was a short seller, I would be shorting this. Okay? And eventually, again, I would be proven right. But as a crazy, timid short seller, even if I was proven right, I would have been squeezed out here. Because in 4 minutes, it goes from what looks like fading here to the 9s all the way up to the 10s. The only real way to make money as a short seller is to have a big enough account so that you can keep adding, and outlast these squeezes. But that, like I said, is a very risky, dangerous proposition. And then it fades, right? And not even fades, it fails here from 1080. In 2 minutes, it's down to 9. This is a $2 a share drop in 2 minutes. So this is when things start to get a little frothy. But even now, it comes back down all the way to 890, and it comes back one more time. Another $2 a share over like 10 minutes. So you just have this thing going back and forth like a ping pong ball, and then it fades here, and you get like a little bounce, but now you have like crack after crack after crack. So right here is really when it starts to, change the trend from where you have like these 5-10 minute squeezes to new highs. Here you have like small bounces. Look at the trend change. Small candles followed by a big red candle. Small bounces, red candle. So it's like trying to bounce it. Maybe some shorts are covering. Maybe there's some buyers looking for like a huge squeeze into the close. But they just don't really have the juice. The volume starts fading. And these big red candles, one big red candle, two red candles, three red candles. When you have these red candles, that really shows that like that's when the buyers give up. Because just as short sellers stop out when a stock hits new highs, longs, or at least smart longs, stop out when there are no new highs. And they stop out, and when they stop out, it's automated sells. So this goes from like 10 down to 9 in 1 minute. This red candle goes from 970 to 915 in 1 minute. This red candle goes from 930 down to 860 in one red candle. So, let's zoom out. You can see uptrend, uptrend, uptrend. Even though it's coming back to new highs, you have a perfect triple top in here. And then the volume, look at the volume difference. The volume difference right at 1 p.m. on this third top, this triple top. The volume is huge. It's reaching 2 million shares in a minute. And after this 1 p.m., you can see total change in volume. Now the shorts are in control, and it just keeps fading into oblivion. This is what shorts love. Fade, fade, fade. Okay, there was like 3 minutes where maybe some shorts got scared after hours. But by and large, it's just a very gradual fade. This is what short sellers love. So I personally missed it because I was on the road. But as I tweeted here, I said, what a week with IPDN. Where was it? I wanted to show one of my tweets. I have too many things. Where was it? Oh, I clicked this one. I got rid of my tweet. This one. So I said, I'm so glad I highlighted IPDN in the threes, unlike other BS chat rooms where it's follow the leader that teaches nothing whatsoever. I'm creating more and more millionaires because of self-sufficiency. My goal and my job and all the tools that we now have for you guys is to focus on the best plays to help you see them early. And even though I was on the road, I spotted IPDN. I didn't know it was going to be the big supernova, but you have to start looking at these plays early, and then you see high after high after high, big volume. IPDN is a former supernova. It goes along with what I'm thinking, where the former supernovas that fail lures short sellers in. One of the biggest short sellers, Eternal Envy, I'm grateful that he even posts his losses, but he said, looks like he's studying this weekend because he's, making fun of me where I say study this weekend. On one account, he's losing 1.29 million. On the other account, he's losing 1.9 million. He trades big. He's one of the short sellers who gets caught on the way up and up and up. I'm sure he made it all back, probably even more on the way down, but he is the cause of this, okay? Just like the promoters. Short sellers are like, Sykes, you're wrong. Short selling works, these stocks fade. They do fade. Short selling can work, but the stocks never deserve to get up this high. The only reason why they get up this high in the first place is these new age promoters, aka short sellers. So I know it's like a nuanced thing, but this is why I don't recommend short selling as a newbie. And I'm always going to thank short sellers, because without shorts, you don't have squeezes like this. This is all short sellers getting squeezed right here from basically noon until 1 p.m. You have 1 hour. Okay, there's a lot of choppiness. It's already up a lot, but I want you guys to focus when it's most predictable. If you're buying these things, buy the breakout. If you're buying these things, maybe if you're on the front side of these things where okay, it's still uptrending, there's still big volume, you can buy the dip because usually there's like a double top or a triple top, but it's risky. If I could go back in time and I only trade IPDN at one time, it would be this. This is when it's making new high after new high. You're not risking much. The volume is massive, so you're protected by the volume. You have to watch out for tops and you have to watch out for volume fading because then the shorts take control. So if you zoom out on IPDN, this is a tale of two different kinds of price action. The front side of the squeeze and then the back side. Again, the shorts are not wrong that these will fade, but they are wrong in spiking it and actually creating these great squeezes. IPDN never deserved to go from 2 to 11, okay? At best, the news is minimal. Maybe it goes from 2 to 3. But because over-aggressive shorts like Eternal Envy and so many more people who don't share their trades publicly, they are the ones creating the squeezes. And that's why some people are like, how do they create the squeezes, but they still finish green on the month? Because they're right eventually. They do fade. But you don't know when the fade's going to start, and you don't know how high the stock is going to go. That rules out all the newbies from trying to short sell early, okay? Or it should hopefully rule you out. If you want to try, be my guest. Risk blowing up, risk being stressed, risk being margin called. Do whatever you want. It's up to you. I still think that it's best to go small long, like, students like, where was it? Terry, but also BTEX. I think this is absolutely perfect from BTEX. Putting in roughly $13,000 and making $8,000 on the day with very little risk, very little stress. And again, if you have a smaller account, don't buy 2,000 shares, buy 200 shares. Instead of making 8,000 on the day, make 800. But these are the opportunities. And last week we had IPDN, we had OPAD and INHD. I tried with NUKK. I was late on NUKK. If you watch my last video lesson, I myself have stuff that I got to work on. Unfortunately, I'm doing way too much. For me, my own personal trading, it would be nice if I was more disciplined. It would be nice if I was making more money, but that's not my main business. My main business is teaching you guys. So I'm going to trade with a small account. I'm going to show you my stupid moves. I'm going to show you my stupid losses. I'm going to show you where I think the best trades are. That's my value to you. And I frankly love teaching. I recognize that I'm not like the best trader. That's why some people are like, Tim, you've made $8 million or nearly $8 million. You're the best. No, I am nowhere near the best. This is why I got into teaching. Because if I can make nearly 8 million, you guys should be able to make double or triple or quadruple that. I know that sounds crazy, but Gritani has already made double what I've made. Jack has made nearly triple what I've made. There's going to be more of you. David Hanlon did a video last week. He's over 9 million. Kyle Williams is over 7 million. There's more and more people coming up, and it just takes one supernova at a time. Whether you're long, like I think, especially in the beginning, or whether you're short, if you have enough experience and know-how in a big enough account, and you like danger and risking blowing up, be my guest. But this is why I love this market. So going back, I know I'm going over a lot of different topics, going back to the NASDAQ, even if we have a crash, even if the market is sideways or down, it doesn't matter. Focus on these individual short squeezes that can spike 50, 100, 200, 300, 500% and take the profits along the way. I really think that's the best strategy going forward. You can be like Terry, a man who just studies everybody. This is my strategy, right? Like supernovas, multiple singles all the way up. That's what IPDN. Or Stratty likes his dip buys. That's why Stratty hasn't gotten over $1 million lately, because frankly, dip buys have been weaker. He's been trying. He tries almost every day a different runner. He was, I think, a day early on OPAD. And then I was like, why don't you buy it back? But he doesn't like taking size when he's late. Stratty likes being early and then selling along the way. So even though he was right on OPAD, he was a day too early and he didn't want to rebuy it the next day. Like I said, he's in his head. He'll eventually cross $1 million, but he's got to find a good dip buy where he can get a position early. Omer loves his after-hour squeezes and overnight plays. IXHL worked very well, multiple times. That was my weekend play last week. I made like 10%. The stock ended up spiking like 90% over 2 days. All they did was announce, I think it was like a $20 million repurchase. But Omer is my latest millionaire student, and he likes after-hour squeezes and overnight holds. And then Jack Kellogg nailed RR, which is a multi-day swing. I don't know if he took any profits. The problem with a lot of these plays, they spike up, but then they come down. And RR usually, screws me somehow. So I took a small profit. I made a few hundred. Then I was like out. I'm like, you're not going to get a chance to screw me this time, RR. But let's see if it can go full supernova like it did here. Like, I don't know if you guys can see, the volume is actually more now. But I don't like this failure on Friday. Even though, like you can see here, when it was going full supernova, it actually did have some red days. So, if you can handle it, if you can handle those kinds of swings, be my guest. Maybe RR keeps going, but I just don't know. And I don't like risking this much stuff. I know JC, another one of my millionaire students, he was up like $75,000. I don't know if he took any of it, but this stock was surging. So going back, to what Terry said, I really think Terry is a great example. If you see Terry in chat, if you're in the inner circle, thank him, congratulate him. If you're in the challenge and you see Terry in chat, thank him and congratulate him. I love this, right? Because this is the thing. Like some people are like, oh, Sykes, some of your top millionaire students don't trade the exact way that you do. Correct. Because I'm trying to show the whole 7-step framework and you guys can choose. In case you don't know the 7-step framework, I'll link it below. But supernovas like IPDN, this whole run-up, this is a kind of a 1, 2, 3 run-up. And we don't really have the number 4 crash because this is all intraday. But this is me trading the number 1, 2, 3 pattern. Stratty likes the number 5 pattern. Number 4 is like a short-selling crash pattern, which again, I don't recommend. And then Omer is also like a run-up kind of thing. Like it can go backwards too. After-hour squeezes and overnight holds can be like a number 2 or a number 3 pattern. And then the overnight swings, again, it's more like a number 2 or number 3. So whether you like the number 2, number 3, or number 5, this is what's working for Terry. And this is what's working for Hertz, and this is what's working for Don Juan and J Ray. I got to give a shout out to J Ray. He's over, I think, 700,000 in challenge chat. He came to the last Inner Circle in Vegas. I hope to see him at the next Inner Circle in Miami. But this is what's going on right now, and we just take it one supernova at a time. You don't want to overstay. You don't want to risk too much. If you don't sell at the top, don't worry. Like I said, September for you should be focused on just taking one trade at a time, trying to learn one day at a time, maximizing every single day. Time is your enemy. If you miss a day and you don't learn, that's bad. You can't get that day back. You can't get that time back. If there's a day where you have a loss, but you still learn, that's a good day, especially if you control the loss. That's the key, guys. It's not about how much money you can make right away. It's not about hodling. It's not about gambling. If you want to be a very specific, meticulous, self-made, self-sufficient millionaire like my top roughly 50 students now, you focus on plays like that. Leave a comment below. Let me know how you did in August. Let me know if I'm making sense. And, again, congratulations to so many students. I wish I could call you guys all out, but in the challenge chat, I encourage, if you're struggling or just beginning, go through the challenge chat. Go look at them. Everything's archived, and you can see student after student after student. When Jack was down 10,000 his first 18 months, I was like, what made you keep going? Like, you're studying and trading every day, and you're just losing. He saw other people making it. So I want you to understand, we all started with a few hundred or a few $1,000s. I don't have any trust fund millionaires who started with millions, okay? See what is working from people and then learn from what works for them and then see what works for you. I got to get going. I hope this video was useful.